Did you not hear earlier the fact that I said no-fault divorce being banned would actually stop certain people from getting mindlessly married? That's my point. I don't want a bunch of people that don't look at marriage as a lifelong commitment to get married.
I don't think many 18-year-olds know about no-fault divorce.
What are you talking about?
And the fact that it's so wired in your head that your abuser is telling you to never talk to police, never talk to anybody, that is just, you're broken. You are a broken kid.
Well, nobody
and you won't be able to testify.
Yes, but the caveat here is to say, okay, well, I'm just going to take no fault, and then the abuser gets off scot-free.
For ending a marriage, I don't even with fault divorce. I actually don't know the way it works in family court, though. I don't see why you should have to prove to the standard of getting a criminal conviction, because the consequence of getting a criminal conviction is that person goes to jail. The consequence of getting a divorce is just no longer being married and maybe like some alimony payments. These are different levels of consequences, and therefore should probably require different levels of
maybe
evidence.
some alimony payments, he says, totally like washing out
alimony payments. If there's kids
10% of marriages get alimony.
If you want to see more content like this, I would really appreciate you liking and subscribing. It really helps with the algorithm. And make sure to check out the Discord and other social links in the description.
For the record, gentlemen,
Nonfon, you need sunglasses.
This is a sunglass only panel. You need to find some.
So
I might have
my problem with your logic
has hundreds.
is, would you want the courts being able to tell people who can and can't get married?
I don't see what that's got to do with divorce.
Well, yes or no, just on principle.
He does. He's not against divorce. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah.
So, but okay. So on principle, people can enter the contract of marriage willingly, without any intervention from the courts of government, so far as you're concerned, right?
Yes.
And so why can't they enter the contract of divorce willingly without any
But it's not a contract. It's a dissolvement contract.
Divorce isn't. Yeah, you need new contracts to do that. You need something in its place to do that says this contract is now just dissolved. So it's a new contract.
It's
you
not
sign
a contract.
You sign a divorce thing.
Yeah, but marriage is supposed to be more than just a contract, right? It's supposed to be a lifelong commitment.
Oh, don't
That's
you
why
start.
that's the argument for getting rid of no-fault divorce.
What is this, the church?
Yeah, the
What does
courts only
supposed
deal with
mean?
the contractual part.
Let me catch you up real
What is
quick,
the point
Speak.
of marriage then? You tell me.
It's
a
a business engagement between friends, Speakeazy. It has
It's
no
a business
value.
engagement between friends.
Yeah, according to this panel.
Business
Use
together.
the same word, but we're describing two different things. One is a legal partnership domestically between people. The other one is a religious tradition. They're separate things.
Okay, so explain to me what you point to explain to me what the legal version of marriage is. What is it? It's just a contract?
It's a contract. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, well, that's
a union.
that is the argument against that's the argument for no fault divorce being abolished, is because the point of marriage isn't supposed to be just a contract. Right?
But I mean, it's not an argument. It's just a recognition of what is.
Wait, what?
The court. I'm not really using that to make an argument. I'm just stating what it is. People seem to.
Yeah,
think
I get you're saying what it is, but that's takes away from what it's supposed to be. We're talking about how it ought to be, not how it is. Right? Like we know that right now it's looked at as a legal contract, but we're talking about how it ought to be, right?
Do you think that the courts ought to impose people's value for them
in a marriage? Yeah, I think the courts, in a marriage.
The court
Not
has
every
no,
contract,
the court
right?
has no consideration in the contract.
Is you look at marriage. You look at marriage as the same as other contracts. I don't.
Functionally, it is the same. You're fully allowed to have whatever values or God involved in it that you want.
Is and ought. Do you understand the difference between is and ought?
Oh, the is and ought thing again. I do understand.
Do you understand the difference?
Correct.
If we're having a discussion about how
you
something
feel like it ought to be something that it's not.
Yeah, but
I don't
that's
that. So we're at a conflict of the ought.
Though. Wait, are you? The discussion is if there should be, right? Your argument saying this is how it is isn't an argument to how it should be. Do you understand that or no?
I literally just told you that. That's exactly what I just explained to you.
So then why is that your answer?
Why ought? You're arguing from a extra status from status quo. The status
I just explained why ought. It ought to be no fault divorce ought to be abolished because marriage should be a lifelong commitment. Yeah.
And so in order for us to strengthen the marriage or the relationships within a marriage, you propose that we make it harder for people who hate each other to be separated.
Yeah, because by extension, it would also limit the people that are just going mindlessly getting married too. So it would keep the actual value of marriage.
So
if people knew they couldn't just get out of it, people wouldn't mindlessly get married. It would actually make sure they want to have that lifelong commitment before they get married.
It removes people's capability to even value marriage.
Sorry, I can't hear you when you talk at the same time as me. So you want to repeat yourself?
I don't even remember where I was at now.
Yeah, you're just listening to respond. You're not actually listening to my part of the conversation. That's your problem.
No, that's your problem.
Hey, Speak.
No, it's actually not. I'm actually fully engaged in the conversation.
What's up,
I knew
Jack
the
Darko?
topic when
Welcome
I
back.
came up. You still don't, apparently.
Speakeazy. It gets worse. They don't think the court should even get involved. It should be between the two married people. They should decide on what the value is.
Why don't you let God
there's
decide?
fault. I'm talking to Speakeazy if you don't mind. But anyway,
TikTok brain can't listen for more than 30 seconds.
I know.
Why don't you let God enforce it then?
Why don't you let someone talk and then you talk?
So anyway, Speak. They're trying to argue no fault to somehow indicate that marriage has no value
because
it's
we're
just
here.
A business,
he's explaining what we are
it's
here.
It's a business contract between
you hold it in, Flow State. Hold it in for me. Write it down.
Gentlemen, give me a moment. Let me address the chat for a moment. To the chat. Hold on just a second. To the chat, you have 10 seconds to vote on the poll. Either Howdy or I-Fi. I took the two took the two Avatar gentlemen out to vote to bring on Process because he is cammed up. So
Ghosty was an icon. You just exposed yourself.
Well, no.
Can you read that?
Hold on.
I wrote it down.
Shut up for a minute. No, I left Ghosty on because females.
Can you read that? It says suck I it.
I know. I fucked up.
Gentlemen, shut up for a fucking second here.
What's up, Richard? Welcome to the stream.
9, 8.
You have
7,
no choice.
6,
Watch this.
5, 4.
Also, Furby's not on cam. Just
fair enough.
Speaking.
Yeah, in their defense, I am a bit of an icon.
The ladies of the panel, the regulars, always have. But if you're in avatar mode, that's how I made the determination of who to.
It's like in between, right? The icon and the cam up. It's like kind of like in both states at the same time.
I'm still demanding glasses from Speakeazy and Process. This is unacceptable. We can have one full panel.
Speakeazy, you got shades, dude. Just throw on some shades.
And big shout out to. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I missed one. I apologize. Wrongful Rage coming in with the big 5. Oh shit, Furby is back. What is with the banana? Did you miss it after this? What?
Oh, that's just leftovers from last stream.
Oh goodness, at least Manure isn't here screaming. I don't know. That was kind of fun. I enjoyed putting someone in bitch mode. That was pretty comical. But yes, at least we can have a peaceful, somewhat conversation.
Whoa,
Just Gerald coming in with the big 10 for the panel. Should there be barriers to marriage? If so, what barriers do you recommend? I'm guessing that's to get married.
Process looks like he's had a rough night.
He needs the glasses. How was Vegas? Was Vegas fun?
It was fun. Definitely need a couple days to recover. And now I'm in Austin, Texas. So I'm traveling all about.
Very nice. All right, panel. What barriers do you think should be there if you think there should be? Mel, let's start with you.
I don't know if it's enforceable, so I'm not going to prescribe any ways to enforce it. But people who have been charged with domestic violence. Maybe they should go on a list or something. I don't know.
Okay, Tareyak.
Yeah, I think the whole kind of prenup discussion that we said beforehand, you basically have it worked out how it's going to end before, and then you don't have all this headache towards the end where it's just kind of like kind of said, it gets dragged on, all this kind of stuff as well. And then like what Furby was saying is like I'd be in favor if it's like if you're convicted off TV, then you're on a list so everyone knows exactly who you are.
Fair enough. Speakeazy to you.
So I'd agree basically with this, where I'd say prenups were mandatory, right? That would be a mandatory thing. But the whole, that's what I was saying earlier about the no-fault divorce being abolished, is it would add this barrier, right? Because people would know they couldn't just get out of it.
Fair enough. Ghosty to you.
I don't have an interest in controlling people's lives. So if people want to go ahead and fuck around and marry somebody that they probably shouldn't have, then guess what? The accountability is now they either have to live through a shitty marriage or they have to go through a divorce. And honestly, that's none of my fucking business, so I don't care.
But you just said accountability, but then you're in favor of no-fault divorce, which is against accountability. I'm saying that we don't have to enforce accountability through the law for people's personal lives that aren't harming.
So we should just let people do whatever they want, murder
people, your own
that you fuck up your life.
Oh, you're not listening. Okay, cool.
We enforce accountability on everything. What are you talking about?
Is murdering somebody something that has to do with your personal life?
Yeah, when we put you in jail for murder,
else?
that's enforcing accountability.
Oh, good job. Okay, but that's not something you do with your own personal life that doesn't hurt somebody else, right? Which is exactly what I said. When you marry somebody...
Okay, so should we let people do heroin?
Yes.
Not the same thing.
That's the point of... Do you
know what a false equivalency is? You know what a false equivalency is? You're really good at them.
Explain the false equivalency.
Can we just move on to process so we can just get through the...
Heroin does hurt people, by the way.
I want Ghosty to finish her thought on it.
What do you mean?
I think it's pretty clear there's different risk factors with heroin and getting into a marriage. I think those are definitely different.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say allowing people to do heroin is not a net benefit, whereas I believe no-fault divorce is typically a net benefit. So, that's the easiest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something you could compare necessarily, because doing drugs is obviously very, very harmful, not only to yourself but to the people around you. No fault divorce, you're actually escaping a bad plan and essentially, in theory, moving on to do better. Process barriers.
Yeah, I'll be pretty quick because I think my answer is pretty similar to Ghosty. I think I took a more offhand approach where I think you should be able to marry whoever you want for the most part within normal bounds. Just like if you're going to start a business relationship in America with someone, if you want to choose someone to be your business partner, the government's not getting super involved unless you are breaking some crazy regulations. So similarly, if you want to make that business relationship with someone really, really, really bad, who's going to ruin your finances, that's up to you. If you want to make that bad call, that's your decision, and I'm okay with that.
That's fair. Non-fron to you.
Non-fon, yeah. The only things I would say is basic soundness of mind thing. So if you sign a marriage contract while you're blackout drunk, that should probably be void. Children probably aren't intelligent enough to consent to marriage, and neither are extremely mentally disabled people. But beyond soundness of mind, I don't think there's any barriers I'd really have.
All right, Grid to you.
Yeah, well, first, I gotta say that we have the courts and government enforce a lot of accountability on people. If you don't believe it, just don't pay your taxes, and you'll figure that out really quick. However, as far as the subject matter, I do believe there should be a barrier to marriage. This is just my personal belief, and that it has no bearing on reality, but I do believe that a lot of the churches have it right, where before you can get married, you need to have counseling through the church, make sure that you're thinking this through clearly and that you have some plan to be married. I do believe that people get married for the wrong reasons, and some counseling beforehand might be worthwhile. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? But there should be, I don't know if that's a barrier exactly, but maybe a requirement, right? Like, but we hand out wedding licenses like they're candy. It's harder to get a driver's license than a marriage license in most states. And that's kind of weird to me. But hey, everybody gets to do them. And it is what it is. As far as and I'll just repeat for the people who are just coming into the panel, the problem with terming it no, I think that people, the term no fault is somewhat misleading. If it's no fault, that means that one person can just say I'm out and bail, and the other person has no recourse. Non-contested means that we both agree, hey, this shit ain't working. We're both bailing. We leave, and nobody gets anything. I don't know that I really believe in no fault. And I've heard all of the justifications as far as abuse and neglect and all of that, but that is actual fault. No fault would just mean that I just woke up one morning and I looked over at you and I don't like your face anymore. And rather than just seeing if I change my mind by lunchtime, I just go get a divorce. That seems kind of fucking stupid to me.
You think people do that? You think people do that? That's just me.
So
and people don't do that. But it doesn't.
Willing to bet that has never happened once in the entire history.
It's
literally one day, one woman went to sleep loving her husband, and then she woke up being like, I want a divorce today. That has never fucking happened.
You sure?
Guaranteed.
She probably, she probably did have these thoughts for months or years at a time and just simply woke up and said, I'm done. But I wouldn't imagine it just happening overnight unless there was some outside factor like a new boyfriend, the cabana boy, the secretary.
I was going to say pool boy, but sure, cabana boy, pool boy, they're interchangeable.
I mean, if anyone can make
it literally happens all the time. I don't know what you mean that doesn't happen. That literally happens.
At any rate, I'm done. That's my position, such as it is. Flow State, take it away, bro.
Barriers, Flow State. Don't go off topic like Grid.
No additional barriers. I think that I think that people are waiting too long to engage in family making, and I would not want to put anything in to further delay that. I think that whether you believe in God or nature, there's a reason that people's libido peaks before their frontal lobes develop, and that in the big picture, a little bit of reckless behavior, a little bit of mistakes along the way is good for people as a whole and individually. So I would not put any other requirements in the way of it.
Fair enough. I-Fi?
Still here? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, no, she tried to boot me off, but you can't defeat me.
Howdy, I was trying to boot I-Fi, but Howdy just chose to leave. I was like, damn it, I was so close.
He was being so quiet over there.
She was even rigging the votes. Nice. She was like doubling the votes for me, and they still wouldn't kick me off. Eat it. So anyways, if there were good and intelligent people, I would say, age of accountability, free will, and hopefully biologically adult. But since the world's full of evil retards, I would say something more like a Ninja Warrior course and maybe like an IQ test or something like that,
Ninja Warrior could be fun.
And then Ghosty left, but I was going to give her an example. If she can name 3 Pink Floyd songs, then I won't divorce her. Go.
Dude, every time I'm on a fucking panel, I listen to rock music. I'm so sick of this sexist bullshit, dude.
What am I missing?
Hey you.
We're just another
learning to fly.
In the wall.
Okay, that's 2.
Isn't that Tom Petty?
No.
Dark Side of the Moon's an album, sweetheart.
I know. I wasn't gonna say that because I'm trying to say Pink Floyd isn't like one of my favorite bands.
Which you were here.
3, Ghosty.
Hold on, I'm trying to name. I know I'm trying to name my favorite one. Is that really long?
Year after year.
I can name Money, but
No, that's a radio. Everybody knows. Something that only.
I know. I'm trying to name a really long one where it's like.
You didn't say B-sides.
What is that?
Okay,
really?
I want
You
a
know
no
that
fault
really-
divorce.
Money.
Ghosty. Too late.
You know the
I want
really
the no
wrong-
fault divorce.
Shut the fuck up. You know the
Learning
really long
why
meme
is
that has like 5
complicated.
parts? Oh my god, what is it? That's my favorite one.
Well, while you're thinking about that, Carney's Ride comes in with a big 2. It says, what's with all the shades from everyone? Everybody's wearing sunglasses. I couldn't be more proud of all of the compliance from all of you.
It's
It's
none of
beautiful.
your fucking business.
Grid
That's what it
showed
is.
up with glasses. Flow State went and put on a welding helmet. Tareyak conveniently put his on along with me to join the crew. Speakeazy joined and threw his on. Melanie, of course, did hers as well to be compliant. Ghosty showed up. Not only did she cam up because I made the threat of avatars getting booted, which she was in the safety, but she immediately threw her sunglasses on as well. And Nonfon and Princess decided to join the crew. Don't forget I-Fi's
I
little
don't know how it started, but for
slug-looking
some
thing.
reason, when
I don't
Flo
even
and I
have
are on
hands,
panel
and I
together, the
found
glasses
shades.
have to come out.
It's Shine On You Crazy Diamond. That's the one I'm thinking of.
That's good enough. Okay, we're still married for now, but just
I
barely.
was wearing these beforehand.
You look like Tom Cruise from Risky Business. You should be like sliding across the floor in your underwear and socks.
Just
right
take
now.
those old records off, Michelle.
Okay, you asked for it.
You got another moolah.
He looks like a hungover soccer dad or
He
something.
does. He looks so
He looks
rough.
like he's had a rough night. I mean, rough.
I'll read it, Finkel. The prophet Steve Martin saith, to break up, you say, I break with thee 3 times, and put doggy poop on her shoe.
What?
So, anyways, back to
That's
the
your
topic.
super chat. That's
Well,
your
let
super
me
chat.
oh, thank you. Finkel
I just
coming
read-
in. I think he would much prefer it if I read it. I-Fi.
Okay.
Finkel.
Put lotion on your hands.
It puts
Or
the
else
lotion.
it gets the hose again.
I don't have it downstairs right now. I actually took it upstairs the other day. Finkel coming in with a big 20. The prophet Steve Martin saith, to break up, you'll say, I break up with thee 3 times and put doggy poo-poo on her shoe. Yes, and for that, Finkel, I think you deserve one of these just for shits and giggles.
Oh my god, every fucking time, dude. Dude, why do people donate to her? You know, if you donate to me,
This message is
you make me
sponsored
wear a
in part
stupid fucking
by
dress.
Thank you, Finkel. Everybody say thank you, Finkel. You got the
Thanks,
horse.
Finkel.
All right, back to you. Melanie, I believe you had a thought to add.
One of these days, I'll figure out what this stream is actually sponsored in part by. But so I'm just a little disturbed because I see like some perverts on panel who are just like, I just want people to make families and shit, and it's like, you know that like feminism has happened and like women are like getting careers now and stuff like that, and you don't just want to like enter your idealistic like women being domesticated into raising kids and doing your dishes for you, right? Free slave labor. They want to like have their own lives as
We're
well.
tired of you.
Yeah, Speakeazy, you're making my face
Brains,
for
get
me,
ready
dude.
to tap in, buddy. I'm going to go to bed early tonight. I got a trip tomorrow.
It's because the Fox started talking, isn't it?
He's good at clearing out panels.
I'm just saying, like, you guys are always so worried about what we're pushing kids to do. Maybe we should stop pushing kids to get married.
What the fuck?
What?
Did you not hear earlier the fact that I said no fault divorce being banned would actually stop certain people from getting mindlessly married? That's my point. I don't want a bunch of people that don't look at marriage as a lifelong commitment to get married.
I don't think many 18-year-olds know about no fault divorce.
What are you talking about? Who on here said they want kids to get married?
Flow State was all like, well, we need as many families happening as possible. And it just
That's
made me
saying
think
he wants kids to get married?
I also blame Flow State.
Well, he said he doesn't care if their prefrontal cortex was fully developed.
You know how old you are when you're
in your head or what? Like, come on.
25. You're 25.
Some of those thoughts you get made up in your head, you got to keep those to yourself, man. They don't make much sense.
Nobody's trying to force kids to get married or trying to cultivate.
I didn't realize that you triggered anyone that bad, Flow State.
Me?
Again.
Oh, I triggered lots of people.
He triggers me.
He's
as soon as he
inspired me
gets
to
on
come up
panel.
with another great barrier, waiting until their prefrontal cortex is actually developed.
But Flow State, what it's worth, you don't trigger me as much as Furby.
But you want kids to be able to transition.
Because that's different.
Oh boy.
Again, Speakeazy, you're really smart.
Doesn't want adults to get married.
Speakeazy, you sound really smart until someone knows what
baffling,
equivalency
you know.
is. And then once people figure out what
Baffling.
Once people
cut your dick off, but don't you dare get married.
18-year-olds, you're too young to get married. 12-year-olds, drop those kids off, yo.
You're very strong until people realize what a false equivalency is. Then
Shut up.
all your arguments are just false equivalencies.
Arguments that make sense for one.
Have one argument, please, that isn't just a false equivalency. Just one.
Back on topic. When is the pre-portal comics actually does it close? Is it like 25 or something?
25, yeah.
I think it's fully developed at about 25 for most people.
On
I
average.
still think some people have a little more ways to
We
go.
really want to develop
Fuck, dude. When is yours?
Doesn't that limit your fun? I'm just curious. Never put any thought into it.
We're gonna be answering this question all night.
Melanie, are we kind of proposing upping the age in marriage?
You can start imposing like a swear jar, but like people who ask that question from now on, they got to pay like $1 to the swear jar, or else.
I actually just sent another. I put in another dono goal to sponsor the Sunglasses Crew. We are officially the Sunglasses Crew now. So, yeah. But if somebody else,
that's the best name you could come up with for us.
That's what they keep saying.
You'll receive an invoice.
That always wins, and that's what they've been saying. It's the Sunglasses Crew.
I'll send you the invoice there for my cut of this.
I want to be called the congregation.
All the donuts? Got it. Yeah, great idea, Sarah.
Oh yeah, we're splitting them. Yeah, be better.
Yeah, that's obviously the point of the Sunglass Crew. Why else would we be doing
The
this?
Shades Crew. Oh, the Shady Bunch. Institute Sunglasses Only Panels.
Hey, Speakeazy. Speak.
What up?
Help a brother out. So, I asked Grid to help me out earlier, but I think he's stumped. Can you make sense for me why the religious people would be arguing for no fault, but the secular agnostic is arguing for
Why do you
fault?
want to play this semantic game, Sci-Fi?
Is your name Speakeazy, retard?
Wow, Flo really can't let people talk. Bro, relax, bro. It's okay.
I have listened to him ask a stupid question.
At least someone let him finish. Poor guy. Come on.
You know how he does with the questions.
So can you make that make sense for me? Because I'm totally confused, dude.
So you said, why are religious people arguing against no fault?
No, they're arguing for no fault. And the non-religious person was arguing for fault. Do you see how we're in bizarro world now? Everything's opposite. It's like
I didn't
it's called reasonability. Finkel coming in with the Big Ten. If this is the Shady Bunch, Speakeazy must be Alice.
Wait, is that even true? Because Speakeazy's talking about the religious context. I think like me, Ghosty, and Melanie are giving. I think we're on atheist. We're talking about we want no fault divorce. It sounds like.
He was speaking earlier.
He missed the earlier panel process.
Tareyak
He's speaking of me because he asked me if I was religious, thinking that I would back him, but I don't. The whole no fault thing is garbage to me.
See?
I think it needs to be.
I'm so confused. Speaking.
This is why you need to interrupt. You were asking a question to somebody who did not know what you were referencing.
Make it make sense, Speakeazy. Help a brother out, please.
Well, I would have to hear. I didn't get to hear Grid's reasoning. I'm sure Grid gave his reasoning to this.
It's pretty simple. I believe that no fault. Well, first of all, I don't see why secular people get married at all, because it's a covenant before God and blah blah blah. I got a whole speech about that. We don't need to go into it. But if they choose to get married in a courthouse, then it's a contract and it can be broken like any other contract. So at that point, as a religious person, I don't care because I'm not going to hell. You are. That's the easiest way.
Your religious beliefs don't do anything.
That's not the argument.
Or prevent it from being.
Hold on. Saying you can't break it. Saying you can't break it without.
I'm trying to condense.
It's very vindictive. By the way, that's incredibly vindictive to be like, well, you're going to go to hell anyways.
Well, I'm sorry that you are going to hell, but you are.
Well, from a religious aspect, I will say that,
you're going to waste your life on God.
Well, hold on. The Catholics believe
you're going to live without him.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, because he doesn't exist.
I have one rule.
You'll learn all about that.
Are you not listening?
Sorry.
I have one rule. I don't speak much, but when I do, you shut the fuck up. Like in the Catholic world, your marriage is not an actual marriage under God if it's not done through the proper ceremonial procedures and all of these different things. So yeah, it would be fair for a person in a religious aspect to say you're going to hell because you're technically living in sin your entire marriage if you're not doing it underneath that ceremony and based on the Catholic procedure. So it would be fair to say that. Now, would that apply to you? Well, if you don't believe in God and you don't believe in the Bible or even Catholicism at its finest, then it wouldn't matter, right? I could sit here and tell you till I'm blue in the face, you're going to hell, and you're like, I don't believe it. What's it matter?
Right. I just wish they could use the same logic when they call them a sheep.
I'm not angry about you. I'm not angry about your choice. It's your choice. I don't care. It's I'm not a forceful religious person who believes that I must force everyone to believe the way that I believe. Which is why generally, and as I told Tareyak and I told iFi, I generically do not argue this from a religious. In fact, I never argue this from a religious point of view because of that very reason. I will argue that no fault is stupid. If you want to have non-contested, I agree with that. But one person just should not be able to just say, I want out and just go, right?
Do you
pardon me. Let me rephrase. That's not exactly what I mean. One person should not be able to. I'm sorry, are you being rude, you dumb little...
Hold on, Mel. Be nice.
This guy doesn't know how to land a plane. This guy does not know how to land a plane.
Fucking brains. They can't
remember. If
you can't put it into 30 seconds, they won't remember it.
Cool, man.
I'm writing a book on
I got to jump anyway here in just a
minute.
You're
all fucking retarded.
Brains.
30 seconds, you can't go past it. Just shut up and listen to someone for once.
Can you clarify what part you said and then tried to rephrase? Like, you don't think one person's being believed?
Yeah, what I was trying to rephrase is that I don't think that you should just be able to wake up one morning, say, hey, I want to get a divorce, go down to the courthouse, get a divorce, not have to give a reason, not have to say anything, nothing like that, just walk out of the marriage, and the other person has no recourse, and they just have to take it and accept it. I don't believe in that. Now, that's just my personal opinion. Now, uncontested, where you both go, hey, I don't like her, she don't like me, we're splits, we're done. I get that. That's totally cool. But if you are going to have no fault divorce, that means no fault means no money, no support, no nothing. You walk, you get nothing. That's the end of it. And you can't come back later and say, well, I need to get in this dude's wallet or this girl's wallet.
Do you think that one party should be able to keep the marriage together against the other party's will?
No, but I think that if one person is like, hey, this is I'm out of nowhere, I don't know what's going on, what the hell? At that point, if there's no reason for it, then there has to be. Then the reason needs to be. There has to be a reason at that point, right? Then you're not
contested essentially just turns into the person who filed just having to give solid hard reasoning. It kind of turns it into fault.
Contested, uncontested, much better than no fault. No fault, I think, is just weird.
What about I don't love you anymore? Is that not a reason?
Well, no, it's not. Why? It's not a reason. Because
it's not a fucking reason.
Hold on.
Time you're with someone, you could be with them for a whole year, and it's a rough year. Things are going bad, right? People go.
Yeah, dude, I fucking know that shit. I'm talking about you literally out of love.
Sometimes you can feel like you're out of love because of the rough you're going through. But if you actually just made it through that shit, you'd come through stronger. Right? You can do all the condescending shit.
What if you go through that shit? What if you go through that shit and you don't love everything anymore?
Yeah, but here's this man, but Ghosty.
Why? Nobody likes the truth, man. You can't hear fucking something for any time period.
Hold on, guys.
Sometimes people don't magically fall back into love either.
Let me ask the question. Why do you get married, Speakeazy?
He doesn't.
Why would you
to commit your life?
I'm sorry.
To commit your life to your partner.
Why do you marry her? Why did you choose her?
Because you love her. What do you mean?
That is
right.
That is the intent. What I'm saying,
yeah, but
now you're gonna have to get in all this esoteric, and you actually fall out of love with somebody.
Let me put it. Pardon me for a moment. I'm gonna put it in a more of a contractual viewpoint here. If you and I intentionally enter into a contract of marriage from a state's perspective because we loved each other. Then when love is no longer there, now the contract is because it's broken, right? So that's where, if you look at it from a legal standpoint, if your intentions were to marry her because you love her, then therefore, if that piece is no longer there, now the contract is no longer. Let's walk this down a little bit more, though. Let's walk this down a little bit more now, Sarah. Now, not only have we been married for a certain amount of time, we have a kid as well, right? So maybe the love isn't as strong as it once was, but your kid growing up with both parents and seeing the love passed between the parents is more beneficial than it being split apart. And we have stats to prove this.
100,000% you're wrong. Do you want to take it or do you want me to?
Go for it.
You can do it.
Let me read these real quick. Plumpy coming in with the big 10 says, keep Christ in Christmas. I love that you say this every time. It's beautiful. It is a kind reminder to everyone that it's not just about buying shit and hanging up lights. It's about Jesus is born, okay? I love it. Thank you. And Wrongful Rage coming in with the big 5. I don't make Tareyak pull out his... Say that word again.
Shillelagh.
Thank you. A weapon and a walking stick. Thank you, Wrongful Rage. All right,
no shenanigans, lad.
So hold on. So
hold on.
Hold on. I got to answer Flo's question from earlier. I kind of just wanted to listen to everybody else for a minute. But can one person force another person to be in a contract? Absolutely. We do it every single day.
Yep.
I'm about to do it with my tenant. I'm forcing them to either continue to be the tenant or pay me a bunch of money for breaking the lease. That we absolutely do that every single day. Then we both entered into that lease. We both entered into that contract of our own free will.
And
if you want to reduce this down to a contract,
clauses did you put in a marriage contract? That's my point. Right. There are no there's no clauses there.
Hey, Grid.
No, it's not your turn.
Grid, can I follow up your question?
No, you can't,
Hold on, I want Flo to finish on his response.
I'm just pointing out that we do absolutely enforce contracts when people don't want to be in them. We do absolutely.
Right. And that's when the relationship between the parties becomes adversarial, which is contrary to the spirit of marriage at all.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just pointing out that if we want to actually enjoy the logic train, let's feast on the whole thing.
May I ask Grid one question?
No, I-Fi, you can't yet.
Sarah, may I ask Grid one question now?
No, you can't.
I've got to jump off, so if anybody wants to get at me, they got to get me quick.
No, what I want to say is that if you have two parents who want to get divorced, and then you force them not to get divorced, that's not
no.
That's not a love.
Let them get divorced. If you have two that want to get divorced, let them get divorced. If you have one that wants to get divorced and one that doesn't, that becomes a contested divorce, and then there has to be, then they go back and forth about it.
The argument is fault versus no fault.
The problem with no fault, and I'm going to say that most states don't operate this way, and this is one of the issues. Most states you can't do like you can in California, where you just walk in and say, "Hey, I'm divorcing this guy." You write out the paper. Maybe they serve him with papers, maybe they don't, or her with whatever. And
you have to get served. You have to get served. But most states, I think, have a waiting period as well.
There's a cool down period.
I don't think in California do. So I think a lot of the problems that we have or a lot of perceived problems with no fault divorce comes out of very interesting states with horrible laws that need to be reformed, and they just haven't ever been. So like I like my state. It's weird a little bit, but not too bad. I don't know about Kansas. I've never
30-day cool down period, and
And see, that's kind of reasonable.
Maryland has a year. You have to be separated for a year.
It was a little bit awkward.
Really?
Some are 6 months.
Because I went no fault and not fault. I had to go through 1 year of separation before we could proceed with it. And it was kind of like I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere, I could have gone the fault route and been divorced in 30 days. But it would have been a big mess. It would have been super expensive. It was just, in that 1 year of separation, you're working on kind of like separating all, and you're getting used to it, and then by the time you get to the divorce, you've already kind of like grieved the marriage, and they've been out of the house for the year and all of those.
You've already rebounded 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Oh God, Paige coming with the big 5. Didn't get to it Monday, but I would never divorce a man unless he cheated on me or was abusive. Fault. Religious marriage for the win.
Well, sounds like for the law, sounds like you're trapped in something that you don't want to be in because you've got a belief system that mandates it.
Yeah, I didn't know about the year thing in your state. That's interesting. I do have to jump off. I was kind of hoping Chris Lestrange would jump up, but he ran away.
Hey, Grid, before you leave, can I ask you a quick question?
Dude, what? Hurry up.
Are people allowed to make contracts that include a lifetime of agreement?
I guess. I don't know.
There's a billion-year contract.
Lawyer.
The Scientology people have a billion-year contract.
You were talking about like a lease, which is obviously a temporary thing. Could I make a contract with you that I can live in that house for my entire life?
Not you, no.
Oh.
You have no consideration in anyone else's marriage, so it's not.
I was trying to give you a way to explain your point, Grid, but you missed it. So
no, I literally I'm fresh out of care for the subject.
Yeah. Flow beats you. Just
go ahead. You can take
Final thoughts from you, Grid.
Oh, final thoughts, guys. Have a great night. It was fun. I had like an hour to kill, and I just wanted to get up here. And unfortunately, I really didn't get to hear much from Prancess and Nonfon. They're two cool dudes. Speakeazy, always good to see you. Tareyak, we'll argue another time. Speakeazy, unfortunately tomorrow night I will not be around. I'm traveling, so I won't be able to come beat you up again. And so
I'll cover for you. I'll tag
you. Next Friday.
Next Friday I'll get you. I-Fi, you can't beat Speakeazy like I beat Speakeazy.
Oh man, with ease.
Oh, what are we doing over here? We love you, Grid.
No homo.
No homo. It's just look. It was a good argument though. You gotta understand that was a great debate. I really enjoyed that a lot. Flo, we'll see you. Sara, stay cool. The rest of you, Ghosty, I don't know you. I'm sorry.
Ghosty's cool. She likes Pink Floyd. She's an honorary member.
Bye, Grid.
It was a great debate. They call it a master debate, you know.
Actually, Speakeazy, with the shades you had on earlier, I'm going to go full homo, so I hope you don't mind.
Oh, goodness. And we do have Grumple Stiltskin backstage waiting as well. If anybody wants to bypass Grumple to the front line, pay to boot somebody. Or
how much is left on I-Fi's permanent ban?
Boot the seashell. He's always right.
We didn't make the goal to boot. I put a new goal up.
But we're not done with the... Yeah. How...
I know the sheep in chat think I'm worth $5. Come on.
Can I rephrase this question in a different way?
You can put somebody backstage for a time, and then we can bring up Grumple within that amount of time. But then you'd have to, once that time runs up, he'd get switched back out unless somebody else paid again to continue the process. So we can play the fun booting backstage game, or we can just get a.
Whatever. We know that he's there. Nobody cares about him that much.
I tried, Grumple.
By the way, Teriyaki, Speakeazy's carrying your torch for you, dude. You need to put some more effort into it. Wake up. He's making all the good arguments for you. You're not even
Princess
trying.
is talking. Let Princess talk.
I'm surprised. What was I doing for like the first hour of the show?
Just phoning it in.
I want to rephrase the question in a different way, because I can get the philosophical take. I'm wondering, in practicality, I'm wondering how this would actually work. I can't give vision a good relationship where it's like the guy is like, no, we can't divorce. I'm not allowing it to happen. And that ends with them culminating and getting back together.
So let me educate the lefties on panel, because they don't seem to understand the prompt. The prompt is not that we outlaw divorce. The prompt is that we outlaw no-fault divorce.
We outlaw some divorces. So only sometimes would we enforce people who want to be separate.
Yeah, in the case of no faults. Versus fault.
People to go through court, prove fault, spend a bunch of money, get lawyers.
The problem you all see this as trapping people in marriages, but it's actually about making lifelong commitments a lifelong commitment. That's what it is.
If people are
it's about adding a barrier to the fact that if you're gonna get married, you know in your head you can't just do this and be okay. You know what? One day if I feel like things aren't going the way I wanted it to, I can just dip and find someone else. Or
what is the
you know
point
what?
of
If
that?
a rich
How is that a net benefit?
I can just ditch this guy.
What's the point of it?
Right? Like, or if my friends talk me out of it because they're all single and they get to party and I don't get to do that as a married woman.
You know, why is that bad?
How's that a net benefit?
You're saying it's not for the relationship. Why?
Yeah, so because you brought up the contract.
Saying, you know what? This chick's younger. Fuck this bitch. I'm out. Right? It takes away these things. Don't you get it?
I love like the kind of contradicting narrative there that it's not a trap, but it's like you're stuck in this lifelong thing. Kind of.
You need to value the things we're gonna give
like
you.
We've said that fault divorce is
you
the thing.
make the willing choice to get inside the trap. How is it a trap?
Can you predict the future? Can you predict that you'll want to be with that
Do you
person
understand what
later
a
on in
trap is? A trap is unknowing. You wouldn't know what's gonna happen.
What is the point of non-involved parties?
You guys are just fucking deluded.
So if people aren't committed to the relationship, if people are not committed to the relationship anymore, then how is it still a commitment?
That's why they have to reduce it to a business relationship, and that's why they only care about the money.
But this is the thing I find. Even in the business relationship, they would all like you sign a contract with your cell phone carrier. You can't just say, you know what, I'm not feeling this contract. There is repercussions.
That's because they don't want accountability, Tareyak. You already
covered there are consequences. You have to prove fault, otherwise you can't get out of it.
To kind of reset the panel.
What's the benefit?
You guys are hold on. You guys are starting to talk over each other, and it's actually becoming very scrambly, and I get irritable when that happens. Wrongful Rage coming with the big five. Reason for loveless marriage, an alliance between two families, which used to be part of the marriage contract, so others are involved. That does make sense. Initially, marriages were uniting families together, and families were more involved in the marriage in and of itself, and there was a big support system. But I did make a point a long time ago on another panel that our support systems are no longer living in the same neighborhood as us anymore, where families used to live really close. They're like right down the street within the same city, so on and so forth. We no longer have that. So now the family is left to tend to itself with a very limited support system around them. And I think that does make a difference. 1JP Belly 1 comes in with the big five. Men want to stay married. 80% of divorces are filed by women. I thought the number was 70-something.
It's 70, and then when you get into college-educated women, it goes up to like 80 to 90.
But I will say I asked my husband to file for a very long time because I thought, like, if you want to do all of these other things, then why am I, why do you want to be married to me? And he refused to push the button, and I was kind of put in a place where he wasn't going to stop doing what he's doing, but he also wasn't going to let me go either. So I had to push the button. I was kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. And I think that might be the case for other people. Men are actually more content.
Before I get my quiet time, can I respond to that last super chat?
No, you can't. That's what quiet time
means. Shut up, Hi-Fi. Go ahead, Mel.
Like when you actually look at the research on this, it turns out women are at much greater risk during a divorce, at like poverty, not being able to get jobs, peer support, all sorts of things. It's often worse off for them, which often shows that they want it more, which also kind of makes me wonder, like, maybe not all women want to be like laborers for men in the household for free, no less. So that way they can go and live out their dreams and shit like that.
Laborers for men, so they can go live out their dreams while they're slaving at work for fucking.
Women are essentially expected.
You're an actual idiot. Do you even
under the patriarchy
before you say them?
While under
the dude. So what's the dude when he needs to fucking take out the trash, fix parts on the car, fix parts around the house?
And I will find some disagreement there as well, Mel, because she doesn't have to be divorced in order to get a job. Now if he is restricting her from being able to do things that she's legally granted those rights to, now that is an actual reason. That's like,
I mean, look how many red pillars on this panel probably would.
But what I'm saying is she wouldn't have to get a divorce in order to go and pursue college or a job, or she could still be married and do those things just the same. So I think that
super chat,
ideally.
Thank you, iFi. So I think that inevitably, like, that's not necessarily a button pushing issue. Now, if he is restricting her movement, and that's a legal right that she has as a person, you know, then you're talking something completely that goes into an abusive realm. So that's a little bit different.
All right,
Jeremy,
folks, I'm going to go for 10 minutes. Just remember how many men on these panels tend to say women belong
it's more than 10 minutes. Wait till she's done reading the super chat.
Go ahead,
Sarah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Read your super chats.
Real quick. Shut up. All right, we got Grumpelstiltskin coming in that place. We got 10 minutes for Mel, 15 minutes for Mel.
Good evening, y'all.
20 minutes for Mel. Thank you, Mel, for sacrificing. I will set the timer now.
Can y'all hear me?
Lots of people. Yeah, we can hear you.
I sound like a 20 pack a day for a 30-year smoker currently. I'm still getting my voice back. I apologize.
She said. Look, if you stop putting dicks in your mouth, that won't happen.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
Just to make sure, because I thought I heard that too. Did you say that it would be abusive not to let your wife work?
If you're like in a place where you're actually constricting her and telling her you're like, no, you're not going to, in an abusive manner, or like not letting her leave the house, or like other things. That's where.
Oh, you mean like physically holding her? But like if she wanted to
you don't physically hold her down for it to be abusive.
Hold up.
I was gonna say.
Ghosty, relax for a second, chill.
Okay, well,
so like if she wanted to go be a police officer, say, and the husband was like, no, you're not doing that shit. I don't want you out there risking your life like that.
It's a little extreme.
That'd be abusive?
Certainly.
Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
What I was saying is that's not.
You're just saying if it was like a physical holding of.
Yeah, what I'm saying, you're missing the point. I was disagreeing with the Furby, saying you don't have to divorce your husband just to go find yourself and find your dreams and get a job or go to college or whatever it is you want to do.
Okay.
What I was saying was, now if he is restricting her by like a way of saying, no, you're not allowed to work, you're not allowed to leave the house, or, you know, like in a way that, like forcing that upon her, then that's a whole nother concept where you are limiting her rights that she legally has. But it wouldn't be a reason that I would say like you had to divorce him to go get a job. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Marriage is
another 5 on to Furby. Go ahead, Ghosty.
Okay. So the other issue is that a lot of people, like especially the people who want to abolish no-fault divorce, they don't recognize emotional abuse. So just you don't have to physically restrain somebody from not getting a job in order for it to be abusive. You can be abusive in ways without physicality.
That would be fault. Again, when I was reading out cruelty or domestic violence, physical, emotional, or psychological abuse that makes living together intolerable.
That's even dumb though. Emotional abuse this is such a subjective thing. Like, are you gonna say like if a wife was like nagging a husband to do something, and he said, "Shut the fuck up! I'm not doing it right now."
Abuse.
That would be emotional abuse?
No, that's not emotional abuse.
Explain to me what emotional abuse is.
Emotional abuse is when you're controlling somebody, you are verbally abusing them.
Vague. That's like,
why would anybody need to explain this though? Because the point is that what
does that mean?
Yeah, you should have to.
You don't need to justify how you manage the relationship.
That it's because someone in the marriage has the final say, so they're controlling, right? If a husband says, "No, I'm not. My wife isn't going out to the clubs dressed like a skank," that's
why do you have to use fucking gloves?
Like,
oh my god,
this is the thing. It's very.
You go to these fucking super niche things that don't apply to like real life fucking situations.
Even at that, if you marry
not a real life situation.
Hold on, stop, Speakeazy. Why the fuck would you marry a woman that's going out to nightclubs and dressing like a hoe?
What if my wife eating 100 polar bears without me?
Sometimes
you guys make me think you've never lived life, like ever.
But because everybody's human, right? Sometimes married women will have single friends and their single friends will try to get the married women to come do the single
You
shit.
watch too much TV.
And I'm asking you, in that situation where the woman says, hey, can I actually go out with my friends to the club tonight? He's like, no, I'm not going out to the club. What do you think this
Why
is?
is he not?
Okay, what if
I think there's a difference. There's a difference between
why
like.
are you asking me a question? I'm asking you if he says that, is that emotional abuse?
It could be abusive, yes.
It's controlling.
Okay, can I add, like, there's a difference between like boundaries and controlling someone, right?
Because it's subjective and it all could be. What if
She doesn't need a justification. These are voluntary relationships.
There's a difference between like.
Well, see, marriage is a concept.
Speakeazy, shut up.
It's totally fine.
Easy, shut up, but you interrupt everybody.
That's what's the issue. It's problematic because there is the potential for abuse. Yeah, that's why we're saying that's a problematic thing. You're kind of implying, yeah, it's totally fine. We don't have to.
Yeah, it's subjective.
Yeah, but
I think there's a difference between. There's a difference between
Can we
boundaries
let
and controlling.
A person finish their thought, please. Prawn says, I don't know if you concluded or not because I couldn't fucking hear it.
Grumple's
So
doing.
if you want to finish, Prawn, go ahead.
I kind of wrapped it up, but
Okay.
I think it's right there. The point we're trying to make is there's the potential for abuse. That's why we say that is like maybe problematic behavior. The way Speakeazy is speaking about it, it's like, oh, this is never concerning at all. It's nothing we have to be worried about at all. We're saying there's potential for abuse. So yes, we have
Really
to be
bad
cautious.
argument.
Yeah, but wait, one sec, because I just want to remind the panel, because this is again that has happened. We're not saying we're getting rid of divorce, we're getting rid of no-fault divorce, but by saying, what if he's abusive? That's fault, you dumb fucks.
Sure. We're talking about the nuances right now of whether it's okay to say to your girl, you can't go do this job. That could be abusive. Yes. I don't know why that's.
And it's hard to prove. It's really hard
that's not the topic. It's no-fault divorce.
My turn.
That's the point. That's the point, Tareyak, is that fault, I already explained it to you earlier, is incredibly difficult to prove, especially emotional abuse, or how can you prove that he's not letting you go out or see your friends or even get a job or whatever. You have to prove it if you're demanding a fault.
This is why adults should not have to justify this shit to anybody. You're a person, you're autonomous, you entered into a voluntary relationship, you can leave that voluntary relationship.
Yeah, and I just want to add, we should be able to draw a distinction between
hang on.
I've
been standing by for a moment now. For this example, 100%, nightclubs are degeneracy. It's for single people. If you're married, you're on a team, and you should not be putting yourself in a position of what is this compromise?
What if you go to the club with your
I think that the big difference, there's a difference between someone setting boundaries and someone controlling someone. So you can set a personal boundary, like, hey, if you go to a nightclub, that's not okay with, you know.
One at a time, y'all.
You're wrong.
That's
what
why
if your wife gets a job at a nightclub?
This is why I
What are you
made
gonna do?
the
Tell her
point.
she can't have a job?
This is why I made the point that if you're marrying a person who is regularly going to nightclubs with her girlfriends, and then all of a sudden you have a problem with it, well, that's who the fuck you married, right? Now, I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm certainly not saying that you can like suddenly demand change, or that change should have been established before you fucking married the bitch and made her.
Your recourse is to leave the relationship, right? You don't gain the control over her life. You still maintain your own autonomy as a she. You're all adults, and this is the West. We're not in.
Yeah, marriage is supposed to be about commitment and sacrifice, right? That's the problem.
According to who?
You guys want marriage to be like this willy-nilly thing that if it's not like rainbow and roses and
That's not what we're
unicorns,
fucking talking about. Stop
your ego and let go of
that's
control.
what you want it to be, right?
It's a business contract between friends, speak.
Yeah, that's what you want it to be. You want it to be that if marriage isn't this like wonderful thing that you exactly pictured
We're not
in your
asking
head,
it to be perfect.
Nobody's saying that at any time you want.
Nobody's saying that.
Literally, nobody is saying that.
You just said that you should be able to leave for no reason.
Anybody should be able to leave at any time. I understand.
What's the
Pardon
point
me
of
for
being
just a
married?
moment. Ghosty, you got 5 minutes backstage, okay? I'll set a timer for you.
Don't worry, I'll fill in for
There's
you.
lots of points of getting married. It's cultural. It's legal. There's all sorts of benefits. You may not think it's as good as God. I don't give a fuck though. They are reasons, nevertheless.
So people get confused,
and I just for the benefit of yourself.
If I may, just for less than a minute.
This is why we argue against no fault divorce, because it takes away what marriage is.
You have never been married to 3 baby mamas. You're not.
Ooh, and what? And what? What does that have to do with this fucking argument, you retard?
Okay, so here we go. Hang on. Yo, give me just a moment on this one. Okay, so marriage. Speakeazy. I'm on your side, brother, man.
You gonna bring up my baby moms for, you fucking loser?
Well, okay, the argument there. Hold on. The argument there. I will give you the argument, Speakeazy. And this is... And I'm not attacking you. I'm saying as the argument, here's what the hypothetical would be to that. If you go out and let's pretend you have 3 baby mamas and you're making babies, right? There's a moral effort there that needs to be instilled on you've knocked a woman up. You should have married her to begin with.
Yeah. I made mistakes in my past. That has nothing to do with this argument, Sarah.
Okay.
That has literally nothing to do with this fucking argument.
Stop there. Listen,
that's exactly what we're doing.
What you're saying. You made mistakes, okay?
And it has nothing to do with this argument. Do you get that? Does it have anything to do with this argument?
Does it have anything to do with this argument? I'm trying to answer you, Speakeazy.
No, it doesn't.
No, over me.
I could be right now married, cheating on my wife, blowing hookers, and blow every night. It still wouldn't take away from my argument. Attack my argument, not me. You fucking pussy.
I said
it's easy to bring up personal attacks when you have no fucking argument. It's easy to bring up personal attacks when you have no fucking argument.
And I'm trying to hypothetical. Listen.
Fucking loser over here. Not everybody wants to be getting nudes from everybody on the fucking internet.
Sarah, before you do the hypothetical, may I engage in just defining definitions?
Yeah, bro.
Sure.
Fucking googly-eyed bitch.
We
have glasses, bro.
Just a moment. Chill. Let the panel.
Just a moment.
Chill. It's funny. It's chill. If anyone brought up your fucking shit about your personal life, it'd be chill.
I wouldn't take it.
I've been divorced.
You wouldn't take it. Okay.
I openly discussed.
I'm trying to listen to you.
Easy to bring up personal attacks when you have no fucking argument.
Oh my God.
So marriage, let's just define, because see, here's the confusion, I think, because there's conflation.
Never talk like that in my face, though.
Is
you'd eat something? Oh yeah, you wouldn't. Oh yeah.
You both back.
You're old and middle now, buddy. You're long past.
You're like 100 pound today. I fucked you up.
So
what the hell?
Yeah, it's easy to bring up personal attacks when you have no arguments, isn't it?
It speaks to the your credibility with this argument. You're proposing a whole
my credibility. No, that has no. Again, I could be doing hookers and blow every night.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like in the Streamlabs things they always use words. Exactly. I'm backstage right now.
Your proposals for other people and their relationships are
so in our. It's just a panel about no fault divorce. I don't even have a super.
What do you mean? Now I do.
Generally. Pro no fault divorce.
Would you tell a heroin addict that got away from heroin that he shouldn't be telling people not to do heroin?
I would tell a heroin addict he should take the needle out of his arm before he's in a position to tell people that.
Coward. Answer my question.
You're not off heroin in this example.
Yeah, exactly, you fucking pussy. That's what I thought. No, but I didn't marry in my past, but I'm married now, you goofy fuck.
Are you?
You didn't know that, did you? Because I don't go around making announcements and hold it like a fucking title and a trophy, you goofy fuck.
Let me see that left hand.
Doesn't mean nothing to you, though.
Let me see that left hand. Did you just make up a wife to win an argument?
Yeah, I just made it up. Yep, that's what I did.
Let me see your left hand.
Do you have actual arguments or no?
I've had an actual wife. I think you just made one up.
That's why your channel was a failure, buddy. Because you're a drama fucking loser. That's why you lost monetization. You'll lose it again. You know what? And I have no problem to admit many people.
Can I meet your wife? Can we see the ring?
My family personally, they went after you hard for your channel, bro. And look what happened. Huh?
Oh, you're the reason that I got you.
Karma's a bitch. Karma's a bitch. Keep going on about my family. You have to see your channel again. Go ahead.
You know that the strikes. Let me
you know.
Easy. They were unlisted videos. You had nothing to do with it. You don't matter. It don't matter to you. Like it don't matter to your kids.
I want everyone to see your googly eyes. Take your glasses off.
Like it don't matter to your fake life.
You're a fucking loser, bro. You're a loser. You're a loser.
That comment really hurts you.
Fuck, right? I made
what is
something
this?
that
This is
you
content Mida. This is what the YouTube viewers come for, okay?
Right? And that's what you're jealous of. That's why you
I don't know why,
right?
okay?
No,
all these people get.
My life is what you wish you could
They
do.
get like
You
30
wish
viewers, and I get none.
You wish
Okay.
you could look like me. You wish you were a little younger.
So I gotta be on their
literally have
panels
the life you wish you had.
to steal some of their audience.
Look like you.
Like the dude that was
So
like the
hopefully I
high
can have
school
actually good
football player
conversations
but never
sometimes.
made it. That's you. You're washed up, bro. You're a fucking loser. You got no arguments, and you try to debate people, and then you go to personal attacks every time your arguments get backed up.
All I pointed out was that
you're a fucking whole bitch, dude.
your
You're
point. Hold on. Stop
guy.
ad homing.
You're
Stop ad
wasting
homing.
space.
Let me explain this to
Stop
you.
ad homing. Stop ad homing. What was it when you brought up my baby mom? What was that? An ad hom?
You're really emotional. Can I
you're
explain
really
this to you?
emotional. Why?
Maybe
'Cause
if
I'm
you
not gonna let you talk?
understood what I
Don't
was
give a
trying to
fuck
say,
about
it wouldn't
that.
hurt your feelings.
Nobody really does, actually. Nobody really does. They go to your channel
Need
for the
AI
drama
animation
that's
like
on
you're
there,
fighting
not for
things
you.
coming in the future.
You don't have a personality.
Can't wait.
Can we get back to your wife?
You
then?
understand that? You don't have no personality, no branding. There's no theme about you. There's nothing about you that stands out. Your name
I'm
is
good at
even
triggering
not
people.
your own. There's
Anybody
a
else
bigger
wants to go
channel
take
that's
those
really
guys'
good at
channels?
making people
Yeah,
angry.
sure. It's this
This
one.
fucking guy. Come on, show
I have
your,
good
show your
shorts.
googly
My
eyes for
shorts are
everybody.
funny. People
Show
love
your
my
googly
shorts.
eyes for everybody. Come on, show them. Show everybody your.
I'll do it when you show me your wife.
Go show everybody your lazy eye, bro.
Let's. You get your wife. I'll take off my sunglasses.
Go get
and we'll do
yours.
that.
Go get yours.
You made up a motherfucking wife to try to
Go
win an
get
argument.
yours. Go get yours. Where's yours?
She's been on all the time.
Go get her.
Bro, they've been doing this long enough, man.
No, mine actually exists. Everybody knows
go get
that.
her.
I didn't make up a wife. You just made up a wife here on the spot.
I didn't make
That's
up a wife.
amazing.
Go get your wife.
I don't need to prove she exists.
I don't need to prove my wife exists either.
Yeah. Your wife is.
Bro, you live in a delusional world. Yeah, light your cigarette, buddy. It's getting stressful, isn't it? Poor guy. I feel bad for you, bro. I feel bad for you. It's a cool
Over here
bandana,
making up
though,
wives and
It's a
shit.
cool bandana. Is it? It's because you wish you were a biker. Is this where this came from?
No.
Both their wives are
No,
Legion.
are
Probably
Are you
do.
balding? Are you balding? Is that why you've been wearing the bandanas?
girlfriend
You
who is
balding,
real.
bro? Let's see
I
it.
have one.
Let's
It's
see it,
because
bro.
I haven't showered since I got off the job.
You ugly fucking mutt. Hey,
But you know what? I take care of my kids.
Up people's fucking
I take care of my kids.
bro.
I
Mind your
stay with my
business,
women
bro.
before
Worry
I
about
choose
your
to
own
leave them.
shit, bro. Worry about your own shit. Mind your business, you fucking.
I do worry
loser.
about my shit.
No, you don't.
You don't worry about your shit.
Yeah, I do actually.
That's
I don't
why you're
bring up.
not.
I didn't bring up any of your shit, bro. I didn't bring
You're
up
not
any of your
qualified
shit.
to give the advice that you're trying to give.
I'm not qualified to give the. Okay,
You've
so
never been
can you
married.
speak on
You're a
abortion?
deadbeat-ass
Can you
dad,
speak on
and you're
abortion flow state? Can you speak on abortion flow state?
What do I have? What does that have to do with it?
And
Stop
you are you? Can you speak on abortion? Are you qualified?
I haven't had.
Oh, you see that? You see, every time you get backed into something,
Here's
you
the difference.
can't
Hold on.
answer.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference.
No. You don't have to move.
You are
Don't talk about
actively
abortion.
doing.
You're not
You are
qualified
actively
to be on
doing
TV.
everything that you say not to do is
bro.
you.
Get a life.
You're preaching
Get a
against
life.
yourself,
Stop
and then you
sucking
get
on
mad
my
when I
dick,
point it
not
out.
with you or me, bro.
Why did you
a
get so
life,
mad
bro.
when I pointed out
Get a
that
life.
you're
That envy's leaking out your fucking ears, bro.
They might be
That
married to
envy's
each other.
leaking
It sounds
out
like
your
it, man.
fucking ears, bro.
you, man.
That envy's leaking out
Dude, no
your
fault
ears.
divorce would help them
Nobody
here.
wants to be you with your Timu chains,
He
your
even
weird
changed
puffy
his
beard.
background
It's
lighting
not been
to
2
red.
minutes, Sarah.
Do you
Come
see
on,
this
bro.
right now? He even changed his backlight lights to red. You literally do everything like me, you fucking loser. You started doing the things that I do on
Bro.
Verbal Combat.
I did
You even
feel
tried to
Verbal
run a
Combat.
Verbal Combat show. You literally try to beat me. You're a loser.
No, I just
For
stole
real.
verbal combat from you because you were crying about it so much.
Go
You might
get
as
a
well-
life,
Andrew
bro.
Wilson's
Do you
here.
realize that that's not a creative idea at all? You didn't
All
invent
right,
If
boys.
you
The
can't
dick
come up with an
measuring
argument, then don't
contest
debate
is
people. All you
done.
got is a personal attack. Don't debate people, you fucking idiot.
Y'all need to get counseling, marriage
Uh,
counseling.
Take out session.
There's only one person speaking here.
Only
that
one
has
of us has
logic.
been married, so only one of us could
All
go to
right.
marriage counseling.
Stand by. TickyTack.
My buddy.
TickyTack, you had a point. You said it was going to be fast or whatever you want. Go ahead, TickyTack. Bring up your.
I have definitions as soon as that.
Yeah.
Go
I only want to bring up a story on the abuse narrative around no-fault divorce. Now, I understand that the counter-arguments everybody's bringing up is that, well, it would be a case of, well, at-fault divorce. There would be a fault to play out. But in my given situation, the only evidence that would have been be able to present against my father was for myself or my brother to testify in court in order to follow through on the divorce. That was the only thing that was holding it back. He was really sneaky. He was really smart in being able to hide a lot of his abuse. Whereas if there was just no-fault divorce, we could have just ended it right then and there and just walked away from the situation.
Yeah, but the counter argument to that is in the case of grape.
What do you mean?
What?
No, I don't.
So for example, the only way to convict someone of rape is if the victim actually gets on stand and actually talks about it, and that's a difficult thing.
Yeah, and essentially that burden was on myself and my brother as children.
Yeah, so?
That's a difficult thing for children to go through.
Yeah, just because it's difficult doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
Okay, try explaining that to a child.
It doesn't matter, because either way, what you're doing is you're offering protections for the abuser.
Aren't you trying to not
because
mess up
I don't
children?
understand as a child, because I'm naive, I'm stupid. It's like I grew up in an abusive situation that I didn't know any better. So I thought the whole family value was the idea of, oh, we're supposed to keep the family unit together. But now that I'm older, sure, it would be so easy to tell myself as a child, yeah, go and actually testify, your life would be a lot better. But as a child, you just don't understand this shit.
Yeah, but then you could just make the same argument. You could just make the same argument for a PDF file. It's very difficult for the child to actually admit what happened and went down.
What? This is
for
like
PDF,
way off.
For a PDF file who got abused, for them to go into court and testify against their abuser.
And you do realize that a lot of convictions go off to the side for PDFs because the child has the inability to actually testify on it because of the trauma.
Yes, and a lot of abusers PDF files get off scot-free.
That proves my point that children don't have the mental capacity in order to do these things.
Because it should not happen.
It does. The statistics.
Because what you're doing is you're offering protections for the abuser because it's difficult for the children.
So what's the counter evidence to my counter evidence then? Seriously, come on. You're just stretching here. You're just stretching here. You're just being a contrarian at this point.
No, I've disproven your point because you've tried to say, because it's difficult for the kids. But in the case, your logic would entail your logic's entailing that the kids shouldn't testify against the PDF file.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You strawman my argument right there. No, that is
because
not.
you said that your father was an abuser.
You strawman. You strawman.
How am I strawman? You just said your father was an abuser.
No, you strawman. Yeah, I could tell you if you shut up. All right. So the straw man is that I am recommending that children do not testify. No, that is not what I said. What I said is that the rational abilities of the child, they're incapable of doing it because they're so freaking fragile in the mind. They don't understand what the fuck is going on.
So children never testify against PDF files.
Not all the time.
Yeah, what you're saying is what you're arguing for. What you're arguing for is that the kids shouldn't testify against, and that abuser should be protected.
Literally, I just got you a counter. What the hell are you
event.
talking about, Tareyak? You're just so far gone.
I'm pointing out the flaw in your logic.
No, you're not. You're just presenting flawed logic to prove my
because I want the abuser to be held accountable. Yeah, shame on Tareyak. Shame on Tareyak for wanting the abusers to be held accountable.
Treated the same as adults.
You're strawmanning my argument.
In the other case, you're just
I'm not strawmanning your argument.
Away from
yes, you are. You're doing strawman.
How am I doing strawman? Where's the strawman?
The straw man is that you're saying I'm somehow advocating for children not to testify, or I'm somehow advocating for. No, I'm not. That's the straw man. Yeah. That's the straw man that you're posing on me.
You said that children shouldn't have to testify against an abuser.
No, I have never said that. I never said that.
Wait, Tareyak, do you think we should require... That was your case for no fault divorce.
I never said that. I never said that.
Because you're saying it's difficult for children, it could be traumatizing for children.
Tareyak, should children be treated the same as adults?
I never said that.
Let me reset the panel. Jess Gerald coming in with a big 10. If you can break up the marriage for any reason, then what the hell is the point of the marriage? Just be a couple and don't go to a courthouse.
That's a great segue into what I have been wanting to do here, a definition. Let's be clear on terms. So marriage, right? The word marriage. Let's be clear about definitions here. So marriage is a sacrament under God that happens in a church, and it's ordained by the church. And then also, funny thing, marriage is also a contract under the title system recognized by the federal government of most countries, under the title system.
Only if you file.
I just
funny thing, and
I don't see why marriage ought to be ordained by God or whatever.
Like sound exactly
fine
the
to have
same,
a legal
but they're
contract.
not the same thing. And I think conflation is happening when these discussions happen.
Correct.
And then
I agree with that.
And then Christina coming in with the big 3.
Booyah, shakalaka,
Speakeazy is up-
makalaka.
Pardon me, I'm reading these. Christina coming in with the big 3. Speakeazy is 100% correct here. That was during your speed date. Plumpy coming in with the
In
big
which
5.
regard?
To err
He's married
is
now?
human. To forgive is divine. Thank you, Plumpy. Wrongful Rage coming with the big 5. Speakeazy went straight.
I hate these panels so much. Sometimes I think I talk.
We're like speak over everyone.
Get interested in
Yeah,
like once.
this is true. Wrongful Rage coming with the big 5. Andrew. He's been invoked. That was not on my doing, but I believe he showed up in the chat. And then the Trib one coming up with big 5. The assumption is kids wouldn't know better, so it's up to the adults to follow through as it should be. Thank you, Trib.
Exactly.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, so the adults should convince the kids to actually give evidence against the abuser.
Sometimes it's not that easy.
It doesn't matter if it's easy or not. Should the kid do it? Yes or no? Should the adults convince the kid to testify?
Yeah.
Okay, so then your argument against no fault divorce is null and void. Thank you.
No, it's not, because
my rebuttal to your.
I'm curious.
You just argued for no fault because then the kid wouldn't have to testify, and you just said the kid should testify.
No, that's a straw man again. That's a straw man.
It's not a straw man. That's just your argument.
No, it's not. You don't even understand a steel man my argument and just tell me. I'll tell you whether you're right or wrong.
You're saying that it would be easier for the kids if they don't have to testify, because you could just claim no fault divorce.
No, nope, not at all. Not even close.
Okay, then what's your argument again? Okay, try to come up with a different argument then.
So my argument is that incapable of understanding the situations that are in front of them, so they don't even know how to testify. They don't even know how to build emotional strength to go up there. They don't know how to understand what is abuse or what is not. Children are so incapable of handling these extreme traumatic situations. It's just that's how. And the thing is that I'm just literally talking from experience here, because I was one of those children that was abused.
So should they testify? Yes or no?
Yes, they should.
Yes. So you should have fault divorce.
But they are mentally incapable.
Tareyak thinks
your argument can then be applied to PDFs. So they're incapable.
You've never raised children, have you?
No.
Again, what's that got to do with the argument?
He's never been married either.
Because you would understand how naive children are.
When they can't contend with the point, they go after the person. Is this your definition of
my point? I'm covering your point, and you're trying
back and you get back in a corner. Is that all you guys do?
This is exactly why many kids don't come after their PDF file abusers until they're adults. This is why many abused children don't say these things until they're older, because they are manipulated. They don't understand these things.
Yes, but what we're saying, they should.
Tareyak. Yeah, they should.
Yes, they should. Yes.
Wait,
so
also,
nobody's contesting that.
You're arguing in favor of fault divorce. You should hold the abuser accountable.
Do you think we should require the same? Do you think we should require the same standard of evidence to get a criminal conviction on someone versus just letting someone walk away from a marriage? I don't see why these two standards of evidence need to be the same thing.
Because his whole argument is like, this is a reason why we should have no fault divorce, because then the kids shouldn't have to testify.
No, it's not that they shouldn't have to. That's not my argument. They're mentally incapable.
So, but based on that logic, you're saying that kids are mentally incapable of testifying against PDFs.
They're not
a lot of times, yeah, because they're so traumatized that they won't even go up on that stand.
But you just agreed that they should testify.
That's going on. Yeah,
but you
they
just
should.
agreed they should.
No,
yes.
what he's saying is that sometimes the kids.
So we should have fault divorce. We should prove fault.
Sometimes the kids are the only ones.
No, because then you would just get people trapped in traumatic situations in abusive relationships where it could just be no fault and they could walk away from the situation.
If both parents were fighting for custody, it wouldn't matter. The kid would still be involved. Do you understand that, right?
Usually, you would get in an instance like
divorce.
In an instance like this, you could essentially get an advocate for the child. And then that advocate could actually kind of speak on the child's behalf and when it comes to the legal portions of it and trying to work through those issues. And maybe
they want to involve family and children's services. Sure, yeah.
But that also adds
you can get them an actual legal advocate. Now, essentially, Child Protective Services and so on and so forth could be called into that. But if you're asking to avoid that based on
the reason a child needs to testify
with TickyTack,
is in order to get a criminal conviction against a PDF file.
Trib one coming in with the big five. If the kid can
for a
contribute,
divorce,
then that's good.
You don't need a criminal conviction. You just need
adult to get the
I don't see why we're requiring the same standard of evidence to get a criminal conviction and to just get a
Wrongful
divorce.
Rage coming with the big five. Furby gets 5 more minutes with the banana. All right, Furby, you're back with 5 more minutes backstage. Or it's down to 3 now since I started it already. Go ahead, Ticky.
Oh, I'm just there's a complete divide between like what ought be and what actually is, like what is actually happening in reality.
Nice to see you.
That's where the issue lies. It's like we should, in a perfect world, be able to testify against our abusers and things like that, and particularly children in this scenario because they don't really have much autonomy for themselves. But it just doesn't work that way all the time. And it's like I was caught up in one of those abusive situations within our family. And the only way to get out of it was to testify between myself or my brother to do it. But I don't know. There was some sort of weird mental block that exists. And it probably is part of the trauma itself. And the fact that it's so wired in your head that your abuser is telling you to never talk to police, never talk to anybody, that is just... you're broken. You are a broken kid.
Well, nobody
and you won't be able to testify.
Yes, but the caveat here is to say, okay, well, I'm just going to take no fault, and then the abuser gets off scot-free. So in your situation,
it's an unfortunate situation, but it's better than staying in the abusive situation.
Exactly.
Yes, but you can still get divorced. You can still have a divorce. I'm just saying to have a fault and then prove the abuse, so then that person doesn't abuse again.
Are you just ignoring my
because then the abuser doesn't get the actual punishment because you haven't proven it.
Here, let me build the scenario.
He continues to get away with abuse.
I'm back to being a child at 8 years old, and I'm going through all this abuse, and you approach me, and you know that I have to testify to court to go on to this. How would you coerce me into doing that?
Well, why is there coercion?
Coerce them.
Bro, can we talk about
you're asking a child to say bad things about their parents.
Israel-Palestine conflict.
And
please kill me,
openly
bro.
discuss traumatizing events that they may or may not even know are good or bad, or may very well just be traumatized at reliving the event verbally to explain it. It's a really big... they try their best to try not to put children up there, and they go through a lot of protective measures. They won't even put them in front of the person. They'll have them in a separate room and bring a video into the actual courtroom because you have that right. But they won't even put them in front of their abusers because they're so mentally and emotionally traumatized that it can actually cause more issues later on down the road.
And this was during a time when like camera technology wasn't very well available. It was expensive, so it wasn't like I couldn't record stuff.
Meta question: why are we using
the question
word
can then be applied to
coercion?
why get children to test against PDF files?
Why are we trying to coerce?
What are you asking? I didn't hear you.
The same question.
It's just not a good comparison.
Apply the logic to why would you even get kids to testify against PDF files?
Why would I? What? I'm not saying that they shouldn't go and testify. That's not what I'm saying. I don't know why.
You just gave me the situation. It's like you're a kid. You suffered abuse. Convinced me to
because I'm telling you what it is. I'm not saying
in this case
that's just how it is.
Would still be their parent, and they'd still have to live a life with them.
Right, you're not
That's why it's a
understanding.
bad analogy.
The abuse
those kids should do that, but they can't always do it. They're not always capable.
Yeah.
And the abusive parent can manipulate that kid to not give all the full evidence. And if that's the only, if that's the only way for that marriage to end because we have no fault, then the abusive parent could get away with that if their kids are incapable of providing the evidence, and then they're stuck in that abusive relationship still.
First of all, it's not the only way. There's fault divorce where you prove the abuse and then that person doesn't abuse again.
In the absence.
All right. So
how is all this abuse going on, but the only evidence you have is the kids? This makes no sense.
I don't understand why the people who I'm constantly hearing
I was in that
saying
situation.
That they have to protect the kids. Everyone who's constantly saying the kids,
emotional abuse.
This is one of the few things that can actually protect the kids from having to go through this really crappy part of the breakup of their parents. Can protect them from having to pick sides, can protect them from having to literally harm the life of one of their other parents. It can get them out of this without having to choose sides and possibly wreck a relationship with one of their parents for the rest of their lives. So why is this such a contention with everyone?
The relationship is already wrecked. That's why they're filing for divorce.
Absolutely, but now you're going to make your kids a literal tool of revenge.
Always.
In the case of abuse,
it happens a lot.
Look, most of the time, but not always.
Yeah, no. A lot of assumptions there, right? The assumptions are that parents will always weaponize their kids, but if they were not able to get divorced, then they would somehow magically work it out. So you've got both the best and the worst behaviors coming out of the same parents.
So for Tareyak, I have a question. Are we requiring the same level of evidence to get a divorce as to get a criminal conviction for abuse?
No, well, basically what we're arguing at the moment is that it's like we have a fault, but we're just not going to use a fault. We're just going to take the easy way out and just say no fault and then let an abuser walk free. That's what we're saying at the moment.
No, it's not. He can't.
That was literally TickyTack's. That was literally TickyTack's.
Well, you're saying
situation for no fault.
Do you want?
You're saying like the reason like you want there to be fault in divorce is partly because you want the abuser to actually be held accountable. But in order to be held accountable, you need to be proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you saying that we need to prove abuse beyond a reasonable doubt just so someone can get a divorce?
There needs to be evidence. Yes, that's how.
Beyond a reasonable doubt, there's gonna be evidence beyond a reasonable doubt.
I mean, if there's a reasonable doubt, why would you?
Yeah, if he's beating her every day and she has a bunch of bruises.
Even at that, that's all. You could still hold him accountable. Even at that, you could still hold him accountable in criminal court. Not even like intermingle that with your divorce. Now, if you held him criminally, and he was found guilty, then you could utilize that as your weapon for a fault divorce and. Do whatever you want. But if you're choosing to just remove the child from the situation, get a no-fault divorce and be gone, and the safety is the child is now the best interest of the mother, then that's she's done what she needs to do, and essentially she chose that was the best interest of the child at the time.
That's why civil cases usually happen after a criminal, so it can be used as evidence.
Exactly. And Plumpy coming in with the big 5. Yeah, sure. Whatever that nerdy chick said. Thank you, Plumpy.
Nerds.
Nerd Central.
I guess like in one case, in the case of a criminal conviction, you're taking away someone's rights. Versus a divorce, you're just ending a contract between two people. I don't see why we would have the same level of evidence beyond a reasonable doubt.
So that we could make a lifelong commitment back to what it was supposed to be, a lifelong commitment. You keep asking the why.
But the thing is, the lifelong commitment is a cultural and a societal thing. It's not a legal binding contract thing. When you think about it, we have to change the culture so people don't get divorced. That's ultimately the best solution. This whole idea of where we need to have these legally binding contracts is also stupid because when you really think about marriage, it's something that is performed in the church, you know? So it's like, if you're religious and you want to get married, you go through your church and you do that.
Talking across from each other.
This is what I was saying on my panel. The problem is not how we fix like divorce, it's how we fix relationships in general so that they don't end in divorce.
Modernity is the problem.
Abolishing no-fault divorce isn't going to fix marriages or relationships.
Yeah, marriages and relationships is two different things. This is what the problem is. You see it as the same thing.
That's totally non-responsive.
That's non-responsive? Do you want me to say it slower for you? Marriage and regular relationships are not the same thing.
How do you know?
How do you know?
Because marriage is.
What is the point of marrying if it's not a step up from a relationship? What is the point?
A type of a relationship.
Is a marriage a relationship?
Are you gonna listen and answer my question, or?
And it is a
very significant relationship in unmarried contexts.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
It's a sacrament and a legal contract under the title system.
Yeah, I know what it is. Tell me why it ought to be that. If it's nothing more than just a relationship, why should there be just a contract to add on to your relationship?
It's definitionally a relationship. It has a contract because you get certain rights from the government when you are a married couple, when you have that status. And this is basically just...
Yeah, and what is wrong? What is wrong with you having a requirement of a lifelong commitment to be entitled to those rights?
That's between you and your religion or however you view marriage. That has nothing to do with the actual contract.
Tell me why it's wrong.
Because it adds burdens to a situation.
Different definition.
Everyone hopes that marriage lasts forever.
Never going to agree.
Right?
Wait, again, you're all answering at the same time. I can't even understand what you're saying.
Because y'all are talking about marriage with different definitions. I defined them just like 5-10 minutes ago. And
religious people intentionally.
You're talking about the one.
Yeah, I agree with Wrongful.
I'm sorry, I can't see your name. Picture with glasses guy. You're talking about the other definition, which is like a contract under the title system that gets tax benefits. These are two different things, and they have the same name, and that's where the confusion comes in. So you're going to always talk past each other if you're talking about your thing and he's talking about his thing, and they're the different things, and it's never gonna meet up.
All of us though deal with the secular one. Right. That seems like the logical.
Yeah, I think the overall concept that we're deferring to tonight is secularism, and I think we've all agreed that if it is based on a church or religion marriage, that would be held within the church on what to do, and and then go forward legally. Nephilim coming in with the big
that's where we're at. I don't think Speakeazy's on that same page either.
Hold on. Nephilim coming in with the big two. Why is it the government's business to enforce it? That's a good point. Austin Martindale coming in with the big 5. Yes, beyond a reasonable doubt, you must prove abuse, or it's then just hearsay. Hearsay. Ruining a reputation of someone is way too easy with no fault.
It's government's job to ruin it because that's what government does. It expands into every part of your life.
How do you ruin anyone's reputation?
Not be done without.
That's a silly statement.
That's what government does.
Also, just because something isn't beyond a reasonable doubt doesn't mean it's hearsay. That adds a specific definition, but okay.
True.
Like I just don't see. My point was just that for ending a marriage, I don't even with fault divorce. I actually don't know the way it works in family court, though. I don't see why you should have to prove to the standard of getting a criminal conviction, because the consequence of getting a criminal conviction is that person goes to jail. The consequence of getting a divorce is just no longer being married and maybe like some alimony payments. These are different levels of consequences, and therefore should probably require different levels of
maybe
evidence.
Some alimony payments, he says, totally like washing out
alimony payments. If there's kids,
10% of marriages get alimony.
Yeah, in a civil suit, you can be ordered to pay millions of dollars in damages, and a civil suit is still based on preponderance of evidence, not beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes.
Right, but that's his point that the evidence would stem heavier to the fact that there was abuse rather than there wasn't for it to be a fault divorce.
We're talking, what is the burden of proof? Like, is it a criminal level of
Well, it
burden
depends
of proof?
what the claim is, right?
Well,
let's say
a divorce is a family court matter, which is probably going to be closer to a civil matter than a criminal matter, right?
It is a civil matter.
And
so the burden of proof shouldn't be like up to a criminal standard.
so you should be able to just be like, yeah, I don't want to be with him because he beats me, and they say, okay, he beats you. And that's it.
Well, no, with fault divorce, you'd have to prove that there's a 51% chance.
I love how that guy, dude, I know you want my attention. Maybe I look like your dad or something, but like I'm talking to Ghosty. Shut the fuck up for a minute.
We're all on a fucking panel.
Damn, my bad. Okay.
But Nonfon was talking the points. He was arguing the points. He was the one bringing up the subject.
Yeah,
I was responding to Ghosty's question, and this guy always has to, every time I talk, has to say something.
I can't read your mind.
Guess what? It's a panel. Welcome to a panel, Speakeazy.
I started talking already, though. That's the difference, right?
Yeah, well, everybody's trying to get a word in. That's just what happens on panels.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you haven't figured this out yet. You run a bunch of panels.
Yeah.
Especially blood sports, where everybody's talking over each other.
Okay, well, that's a whole different setup, the way I have that, right?
Okay, whatever. You should be more used to panels here. It doesn't seem like you're really used to them.
When people are interrupting each other, I do stop that, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Plumpy coming in with the big 5. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. And if you stop people from interrupting each other, then you will 100% be more respectful when the host is interrupting you to stop interrupting others. All right, back to the panel.
I did say I gotta get out of here. I was hoping Mel's timer was up. I want to make it a little spicier. Hopefully Mel can have my spot.
Yes, her timer's up unless the chat has spoken. But do you want to give your final thoughts, Prawn?
Yeah, thanks. I definitely lean toward having Nonfon be more of an option. And sorry if my audio's a little scuffed. I don't have my typical fancy ass setup, as you can tell by the background. But thanks for letting me up on the panels. Fun as always to have this intellectual discussion, sharing our ideas. But I definitely am more in the camp of Ghosty, Nonfon, and more toward. I want more options that lean toward Nonfon. But I think we should have multiple options. I'll end there. And everything's out, and hopefully Melanie isn't a spot.
Bye, guys. I think I disagree with you, but great to meet you. I think maybe I've encountered you once before, but yeah, good to talk to you, dude.
Yeah, I'll see you around. Debate many of you guys, debate y'all in the future. Yeah, see you guys. Have a good night. Peace.
See you around.
And Melanie is coming back. The Trib one coming in with the Big 10. There is no legal argument against no fault. The only argument is a religious argument, and you don't need to get married by the government. No fault expedites the process. I will agree with that in terms of like the legal argument against no fault. I don't know if you actually have that aside from preference to say, no, I think you made a contract, you should stay married, so on and so forth. But every contract can be broken. There are consequences thereafter, but every business contract, and like I said, a marriage in terms of the state is deemed as you're creating an entity between you and your spouse. Finkel coming in with the Big 5. Bail money for Mel. Thank you. We appreciate that. Melanie, you are back.
Now, whenever
there was an argument that wasn't religious that was made earlier. Tareyak made it, and I had brought it up that like if there was kids involved, that stats show that 2-parent homes do much better than single-family homes or single-parent homes. So
that's still not a legal.
This would be a argument to keep the marriage together.
To promote
kids that live in messed up relationships, kids that live in houses.
We're talking no fault
with messed up parents, even if they don't show interest in each other.
Then there's probably a fault involved if one of the parents are messed up.
No, like even to the point where stop talking over me and you actually understand. Even to the point where they're just not interested in each other, or they don't love each other, or they're like not engaged with each other. This also shows lifelong effects on the children. where they would like your parents' happiness.
Right, and if people couldn't just get out of marriage for no reason, they would really think about before they made that commitment, right?
So a lot of people who go for no-fault divorces, there actually is fault, right? Like the entire reason this got popularized, and when Reagan made this the first state law to do this, it was because in California you had a bunch of rich Hollywood movie stars who were caught cheating, who didn't want judges rifling through their finances. So a lot of these no-fault divorces are at fault as far as who did something wrong. It's just a matter of people to expedite the process and not have to go through the battle if they can, decide it themselves. Right. So there are many reasons, and it's not just like women wanting to get away from dudes. Like there was a big push by rich dudes to have this be a thing as well.
Yeah, but is truth an important thing, FG?
Absolutely.
So then why would you argue against finding out the truth?
Because you don't need to find
family
out
is more important than truth?
Because if it's not contested, then what's the point? If both adults agree, hey, we just agree that we shouldn't be together, the judge doesn't want to rummage. Why would they want to rummage through shit if you guys already agree that you don't want to be together? If it's contested...
The strange thing to me is that I don't hear more of you guys on the conservative side saying we don't want the government running through our lives. Like, because that's what a lot of people, this is all about, right?
Because we also preach accountability.
Running through our lives.
Most of us don't want even you secular people getting married, period. You understand that? So the point is, when we add in barriers to make it harder for you to just get out of it, because all you look at it as is a contract between two people, it stops a lot of you secular people from even getting married.
My man, who are the most divorces in the United States? Religious people are not.
We want more of you secular
most
people.
Most of the divorces are religious people, bro. Atheists have the lowest divorce rate in the country.
They're special marriages.
I can't hear any of you when I'm talking.
I can't hear
I don't know if you got that yet, but like I literally wait for you to stop talking and then I talk.
Dude, every fucking time. What the fuck? Can I even show this on Twitch?
This message is sponsored in part by...
Coffee as fuck.
Speakeazy, right. How long have you been?
Wait, where's the rest of it?
In the 1930s, that would be illegal.
Good.
That was ballet. It was beautiful. The artistry.
Wrongful rage comes with a big 5. First, children can be deposed. They cannot testify in open court. A closed court with exceptions and only if the judge allows. Hope that helps. Yes, they try to avoid that at literally all costs. All costs.
There is no gain from making people go through a more excruciating divorce process, except for the odd off chance that because of that, they actually end up staying together and having a happy relationship after that. But that's not probable that will be even a slight percentage of them.
Yeah, and so
well, there would be a very simple. There would be a simple example where there is an abuser, and what he does is he has financial gains, who just basically waives the legal fees and uses that as leverage to get them into filing for no-fault divorce.
Your assumption is that he would be caught if fault divorce was an option, but that without fault divorce being necessary, he will not be caught.
You said there's no reason. I just gave you a real simple reason.
Mel, you got 5 more minutes. Hold on just a second. Mel, you got 5 more minutes backstage. Sorry, Charlie. Go ahead.
Okay, it's what I am where I am, so I gotta go finish out the rest of my stream.
You want to give your final thoughts?
I mean, yeah, like this is not my topic. I care more about economics and political stuff. I don't, but I'd say intuitively, it just feels like no-fault divorce. It's typically going to be a net benefit on a societal level. I don't see a good reason for not having it. Yeah. Also, I stream on YouTube at Nonfon, NONFON, and Twitch at Nonfon420. Go over to my stream too. Anyway, see you guys. Love chatting to all you guys. I'll see you. If you want to chat with me live, sub here or go to Nonfon420 on Twitch or Kick via the links below. Once again, please like and sub to help with the algorithm, and consider sending a donation through YouTube Super Thanks to directly support me, and I'll make sure to reply to any question you ask. See you guys next time.